Hey, what's up, guys? Um, I want to talk about fear mongering and how dangerous that really is. Um, I noticed recently, being around a lot of people who are so fearful and they drive all these irrational fears that are individual experiences. So they're really just akin to their experiences, and it's due to their circumstances or due to their actions or just what they're afraid of. um but constantly being in these negative energies and being around these energies, you absorb these things, and even if you know it's not a real thing or it's not real to your life, it can affect your mind state and your psychological state. And I notice sometimes I've been noticed lately, I've been having dreams of things that just make no sense. Like for me, it doesn't scare me or anything. It's just more so I just notice these things that these fears that just make no sense to me. I just see it or I just feel it or whatever. And I don't like it. I don't really like living in fear. Living in fear is not ideal, and it's not a good thing to put your fears on others. Um, I know sometimes it comes from concern and you wanting others to be safe or whatever, but a lot of times it comes from you trying to control or terrify other people, and it's not a good thing to do. Um, this world is really fear based, and at least so far, what I've seen so far, a lot of people are just so afraid of everything. But really, we're not supposed to live in fear. We're supposed to live in faith. And what trumps fear is is overcoming those fears. And you can always work on overcoming your fears by strengthening yourself, give in to your fears, and embrace your fears. Wonder why you fear them in the first place. It's not good to just be have this defeatist mindset, and since you don't want to work on what's bothering you or what you're afraid of, you're just throwing it on other people. That's how you lower the frequency of your environment and how we lower the frequency of this planet. And it's really important to overcome these things instead of just putting it on other people, because you have to understand how it affects people. It affects them really badly, especially people who are very imaginative and who are naive and believe things that they don't really have experience with because they trust your guidance. So you're putting all these fears and negativity into things, and it can stop them from doing things that they actually want to do because you're saying it's dangerous or it's this or that or whatever, but it's just your irrational, it's just your own thoughts is what you want to believe. um it's it's a terrible thing to do. And you have to snap out of that and realize that you're not really supposed to be doing that. Instead, you have to really face these things, because something I noticed, people who live in fear, they're throwing their lives away. And the universe doesn't really respect cowards at all. It really doesn't. Seriously, it doesn't respect cowards at all. Cowards aren't blessed or rewarded, because all they're doing is just driving themselves in a hole, and they're bringing other people down with them, and that's not what we're supposed to be doing. And people that live in fear don't grow; they only decline. Um, and something I noticed watching people in fear is that they just always run away from their problems. They never embrace. They never embrace. What they're afraid of, and instead of just trying to run from it, fight it and figure out ways to overcome it. That's something for me, I never really been too much into I didn't have my dad in my life, And I'm grateful I didn't have him in my life. And no offense to him, but he's just not the man I wanted to model myself after. Um, and a lot of like humans, I don't really want to model myself after them either. It's like, so for me, like, I always look to like nonfiction and stuff like that for like to as like a role model and stuff like that, and like a lot of them like I could relate to in ways, so I made it better. But like for me, I never like being controlled by anything, you know. I never wanted to feel like I can't do something. I like just an obstacle in the way. Okay, so what? I just can't do that now because there's an obstacle in the way. Like no, like I still want to do it. Or I figure out how to get around the obstacle or how to get through the obstacle. So like for me, I know it's a lot of like regular men, like they look up to these guys who act like they're like the shit, or they act like they're so like manly and everything like that, but I could smell the fear in them. I can see it. I can feel the fear. Like I could really feel it. Like I see it in them, and I see how like they're just killing themselves, and they act like they're like this like super like this like great like like strong guy or whatever, but they're really not. They're dying inside, and they're walking a path of death, and they're making people seem like they're trying to do it in a cool way. They make it seem like they're like they make it seem like they're like this special guy or whatever, but really they're just dying in style. That's all it is. um you want to live. We're here to live. We're not here to die. So if you're walking the path of death, that's not really manly in any way. Like smoking cigarettes, drinking till you die, doing reckless things, all that stuff is suicide. You're not really all that, like, some people who face their fears like in a way to where it's like destructive isn't a good thing either. Like you need to figure out ways to combat what is bothering you, and sit with yourself. If you really want to be like a man or whatever, like whatever you've been through, don't let it affect you in a negative way where you lose yourself. Instead, try to figure out how to overcome it. That's what will make a man, like, in my opinion, instead of trying to like destroy yourself or acting like these problems don't exist or whatever. Like fix yourself, work on yourself, and realize that you have so much life to live. Like you've been through like these traumatic experiences or these problems or whatever, but like so many of us have, you still have life to live. Get through it, and then envision more life for yourself. And especially if the problems that you had weren't problems that you made on your own, like they weren't your choices, they were things that you inherited from like your environment or your family. So understand that once you get through these problems, you're able to create your own reality for yourself. But it's really important to understand these things, because like killing yourself isn't really, it's not manly at all. It's sad watching that shit. It really is sad. And it's not cool to throw your defeatism upon others, and make others feel like they can't grow because you don't want to grow, or whatever. Like I don't like being around cowards. I don't like being around weak people, like, because you're just giving into corruption, and you're giving into evil, and you're giving into like negativity. And how does that benefit anybody? It doesn't benefit, the people who want to live, the people who want to thrive, and the people who want to see a better future for themselves and for others, and even you. So you're really not doing your part at all. You're supposed to overcome whatever it is that you're faced with, and understand that whatever you're faced with, you can overcome. But so many people want to go down the easy route, and then you're surrounded with all these people who are fear-minded like you, and are like afraid to like do anything. Like I see people give up so easily. Like why? Like I don't understand why people give up so easily, and then they complain all the time that like life's not going well for them, or that they can't have this or they can't have that or whatever. But you don't deserve it, because you're not doing anything. You're not doing anything good for yourself or for others. All you're doing is just spreading fear and negativity, and it's just disgusting. It's really fucking gross. I don't like it. I don't like being around it. I don't like seeing it. Like you can literally overcome anything. We have adaptive bodies, adaptive minds, adaptive souls. You know, you're not going to be put in a situation that you can't handle. It can seem overbearing at first and even traumatizing, but you can overcome it, you know, if you believe in it. But if you don't believe in it, then yeah, you're going to be eaten alive by it. But, you know, you have to believe in yourself and be strong and believe that you do have strength, you know, and we're here to inspire each other and, you know, uplift each other. We're not here to bring each other down and put each other, you know, in this like limbo, you know. I don't like seeing it, man. It's really sad, you know, because we can't progress like that. So fear mongering, I don't approve of fear mongering. And I really believe that anything that you're bothered by or upset by or whatever, you can overcome it, but you have to believe in it. And you may have to take a step back and work on yourself so that, you know, when you're faced with these problems, it won't affect you because you understand how to see through it, you know? The universe or whatever divine being or whatever, you know, you believe in wants you to be strong enough to be able to face your problems and take accountability for your own life. You know, you need to be able to do that, you know, because if you don't, then you're not going to be able to thrive in life. You're just going to suffer. You know, you have to be strong in your mind, your body, and your spirit. And, you know, give that strength to others, just like how we could give like cowardice and fear and negativity into other people. We can do that with positivity and strength and courage and everything like that as well. So it's really important to realize how your energy affects other people. It really is important, you know. So we're all in this together. So it's really important to understand that if you're feel defeated, then you're going to make other people feel defeated. If you feel victorious, then you're going to make other people feel victorious. So it's important to understand these things. But yeah, blessings, love, abundance, everything that you deserve. I hope you receive it. Take care.